Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is auntieqasmr. We are in Florida tonight. We are in Jacksonville. It's gotta be like 11 something p.m. Kind of a long day for me. I started my rotation this morning. My airport report time was 7:50 a.m. Minneapolis time. So I woke up at 5:30 a.m. Minneapolis time, which would be 6:30 a.m. in the time zone where I currently am. And now it's going on midnight, so it's kind of long. Also, just a little bit not my favorite because I did not work flights back to back to back to back. I worked only 3 flights in all of these many hours, but each flight had 2+ hours in between. So it's just a lot of downtime, a lot of sitting in the crew lounge when I was in the Atlanta airport. But the first airport that I flew to was Denver, where we actually do not have a crew lounge because it's not like a base for us. And I just don't really like that kind of trip structure. Nobody really does. I'm happy to work. I would in fact rather work 4 flights that were back to back to back to back and be on duty for the same number of hours rather than work 3 in this many hours padded with sits in between, especially at non-base airports, because that just makes the day go by faster for me. Also, if we don't have a sit, the airline has to feed me. And I kind of left in a blitz this morning, and I did not prepare anything for work last night because I'm still dealing with issues at my apartment building. I was trying to get some laundry done, which is currently not possible at my apartment. So I was trying to get that done. Didn't even look at my schedule for today because I usually don't get stuck on trips like this with long sits. So it just didn't cross my mind. But I had a very sweet passenger. Like last week, gave us Starbucks gift cards. So I went and I got a sandwich at the Denver airport, and it was located in a different concourse. So it gave me a way to get my steps in. And then I just got to my hotel. And in one of my bags, I found a chocolate bar that a passenger gave to me like 2 days ago. My last work trip, it gave me a San Diego layover, but it was a short one. Only like 11 hours, and mostly overnight hours. So I didn't make a video because I was with my family. I went and got tacos with my dad as soon as I landed, and I got to hang out with my mom. I did try to make a video the night before that, but the first day of that trip turned into a mess. I was supposed to spend the night in I don't even remember. I don't even remember what city, but I was supposed to be somewhere in Florida, and we never got there. We were getting not rerouted, but one of our legs posted like a 5-hour delay. It was already 3.5 hours delayed, or at least the airplane that we were supposed to be flying was 3.5 hours delayed. But apparently the tower did not know that, and the ops team did not know that, because they started sending messages to the flight attendant crew and the gate agent talking about how, this is a priority departure. Let's go team. We need to get this one out on time. And I was like, do y'all know that the plane that you want us to get out on time has not even departed from Las Vegas yet, and is currently showing 3 hours and 30 minutes delay? Which then turned into, I believe, when they posted the delay for my flight, I believe it turned into 5 hours and 40 minutes delayed. And at that point, my crew and I took the option to option off, because had that flight departed at its delayed by 5 hour and 40 minutes time, by the time it landed with that originally posted delay, our workday would have been just over 17 hours long. From the moment we got to the airport to the moment that we would land that last flight, still not counting the additional hours previous that we had for waking up and the extra hour it would take to get to the airport or to get to the hotel. So really it would have been more like a 20-hour day if you factor in that kind of stuff, from waking to sleeping again. But as far as on duty, it would have been a 17-hour duty period, just over a 17-hour duty period. And our legal maximum for that day was 14 hours and something minutes, based on our originally scheduled rotation. Which I immediately, that's what I was looking at, and I was like, I don't I think we have the option to not do this. Because at that point, you either choose to extend and then they pay you a little bit more, but it's not really like enough to be worth it. And any time that I have extended in the past, which I've only done twice, it has been an absolute nightmare. I did it on behalf of others and it worked out terribly for me. So I've become a selfish person who does not extend my duty days ever again. I will never. So the whole crew and I, we were like, yeah, we don't want to have a 17-hour duty period, so we're gonna option off. Which meant that we stayed in Atlanta, never made it to Florida. They got us a hotel room, and then we picked up the remainder of our originally scheduled trip the next day. Because when we left Florida, as scheduled, we were supposed to come back to Atlanta before continuing. So they just had us pick up the rest of the trip. And then, I guess my lead flight attendant was watching the flight. I was not. I was asleep. I guess he checked in the morning and saw that the flight that we were scheduled for, the one that ended up posting 5-hour and 40-ish minute delay before we optioned off of it, still did not go out 5 hours and 40 minutes behind schedule. It continued to delay. So God knows how long our day would have been if we had chosen to extend. But it's fine, because it wasn't anybody that they were waiting on. It was a literal plane they were waiting on, so they had plenty of time to find other flight attendants to work that flight. That did not become an issue that caused any of the delay. I guess it was like a maintenance thing. But anyway, I did try to make a video in Atlanta that night. I tried twice. In the first take, I was just like a little bit burnt out, a little bit like energy was too chaotic. It was not giving ASMR, so I stopped the video and tried to cool my jets a little bit and try again. But I had my work phone on the table with me, and my work phone is an iPhone and my phone is not. And I do not know how to use my iPhone, my work phone. I do not know how to use an iPhone. I'm so challenged. I hate that thing. I don't get it. So it's on the table, and it starts pinging at me because I was still waiting at that point for my lead to email us and let us know when our newly scheduled van time was. That was going to take us from the Atlanta hotel to the Atlanta airport the next day. But I didn't think that it was going to make a noise when I got the email. And I even held up my work phone to the camera because I was so confused. I was going to ask you for your help with it because you probably have an iPhone, everybody else does, except me. I held up my iPhone, my work iPhone, to the camera with them. You know, if you swipe down from the top of the screen, it has the quick menu, and it has the icon for the phone volume, and it showed that the volume was all the way down. And I always have the volume set all the way down, but it still makes noises at me, and I could not figure out how to turn the volume all the way down. So then I was like, I'll just turn it off. I couldn't figure out how to turn it off either, because there was like a power button at the top of the screen, but when I clicked the power button, eventually I figured out that you had to press it and hold it, but like, the power button should just be like a physical button still. Your phone should have 3 buttons: a power button, up volume, down volume. And maybe one of the buttons on the iPhone is a power button. I don't know. I know that 2 of them are volume buttons, and I turn them all the way down. But the phone still makes noises at me. I know how to take a screenshot on it, because every time I report to work and I sign in, it tells me, your sign in is confirmed on time, da-da-da. And I always screenshot that in case there's like a system outage or like a technology failure where somebody tries to clap back at me after the fact and say, Aaron, why were you not signed in on time? On such and such day. And I can be like, here's the screenshot. But so I always do that when I'm like approaching the terminal train where there's like other passengers and people around. I screenshot it and it makes the camera shutter noise. And so then people around me think that I'm like taking a photo of them, which I'm absolutely not. I'm just screenshotting that I signed in to work on time so I can prove it. And I don't know how to turn it off because the volume is all the way down. So I'm sure there's like a setting. Like, is turning off sound effects separate from turning down the volume? I have no idea. I don't know how to work that phone. So then I was like, still, like, you had the notification chime disrupting the video. I don't edit these, so that doesn't work. And then when I held the phone up and then I took it back down and I rotated my hand back toward me, I didn't go back and check because I wasn't ever going to post that video anyway, because it wasn't relaxing. It was very like still like frazzled and chaotic. But I was pretty sure that when I turned the phone back toward myself, my hand wasn't out of frame yet, and the back of my work phone has information about who I work for, so I was like, I'm not editing that out, and this is just too chaotic. Like, I'm just gonna have to try again another day when I'm like had more rest and just like have my head on straight. Are you getting tired yet? You better be getting tired. I am tired. And it's time to take a shower and sleep for a while. You probably already took a shower. Hopefully you're already asleep too. It's amazing. Almost 40 minutes of talking about absolutely nothing. I have nothing to say and I have so much of it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that that I will see you again shortly. Thank you for subscribing. We do have over 1,800 subscribers now on this channel, and that is very exciting. And I hope that we can have more. Something funny did happen. I got an email from YouTube telling me that my channel was going to become like automatic closed captioning was going to be automatically activated on my channel. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. And I was wondering, why did they select me for that? I thought maybe it's because I reached like a certain number of subscribers, or a certain amount of engagement, watch time, something like that, number of uploads. I was just curious. So I googled like what the criteria are for YouTube activating automatic captions on your videos is, and it said, it's for paid YouTube partner channels with monetization, and that while there are no criteria for being enrolled in that feature, YouTube places a priority on channels that make educational and informative content receiving the captioning. And I thought, YouTube thinks I make informative, educational,